How y'all doing out there? This is your man, Nico B. This is the Black Enterprise, and this episode of The Black Effect. Stereotypes. Stereotypes are can be used as slander. They've been used to paint certain groups of people in a negative light. But stereotypes by themselves are used by everyone. Like, everyone uses judgment, when they meet people, or that's just the way the human mind works. When you see certain things over and over from certain, if you see certain groups or a certain person or certain group of people do something over and over, your mind equates that with the group of people. But then but the truth of the matter is, you've also never encountered anyone to counter that narrative. This is in turn what happens with racist. That's when a person can develop a racist mindset. When they only believe the stereotypes and never encounter anyone else or put themselves out there enough to live life enough to go out and meet people who are outside of their little bubble. The world is a vast place, that are outside of the bubble that perpetuates that stereotype for them. For example, it's an easy example. There's a lot of Caucasian people, some of them, I don't even say a lot, some of them in 2022, but some of them still have the antiquated mindset and think that, all black men are like gangbangers or something like that. That's because you see that on TV a lot in rap music and things like that. And those type of white people, they've gentrified themselves, and they only see and encounter black people when it's on the television, when it's, in a controlled environment, like a concert or something, and they can, it's like animals in a zoo, a cage to them, because they can be around it, but in a safe vicinity. They don't, they wouldn't dare just go to, have a black friend, or they don't go to the regular neighborhood events where it's a mixed event, where normal, where you can get normal people to congregate of all races and things like that, or normal American people to congregate. They don't go to other places like mixed events like that. They don't spend time in private sectors and things like that, messing where they can encounter normal black people that counter their narrative of the stereotype. Because again, the stereotype is too strong in their mind. And at that point, it's been made up in their mind, and some people stick to those. Now, that brings me to my point. Stereotypes do have some truth rooted in them, though. There's some truth in that. And that's how the devil, Satan, that's how Satan himself sells the world his lies. Because the lies have to be mixed with some truth. Satan knows about God. He knows, all of the truths of God. So he'll give people some of that, give people some of that energy. At the same time, selling you lies. That's basically how he tricked Eve. That's basically how Satan tricks the world. He'll mix the lies with the truth. Now, with stereotypes, if you are this is how I already know that it's true. And again, I know the stereotypes that's for black people the same way I know the stereotypes for everybody else. In the world, because stereotypes from America because America has like a global reach, media, things like that. You have people in other countries who have stereotypes about American people. Like, you understand? Like, Americans themselves have as a collective have stereotypes. The stereotypes of Americans is that they lazy, obese, you know, that they manipulate, they liars, like, you know what I'm saying? America's not honest. That's what countries don't believe. They don't believe that. On the outside looking in though, if you had, like, say if you just had the collective and you gathered the men of all of the races together, just from the stereotypes that have been perpetuated today on the earth today, this is what it would be. You would have, if you had the Hispanic man, you had the black man, the Hispanic man, the white man, the Asian man, and the native. You had even put the Native American man in there. These are the stereotypes you're gonna have, and you just get a person. You get your average. You get your average woman who's what, about 35. You put her 35 years old. You put her into the into a room with those men, and you asked her, like, you know, this is who you're gonna be. This is who you're gonna be living with. Like, it's just gonna be you and these men. This is who you have to, you know, what you're going to have to deal with. You pick one, you gotta build a civilization, or you do pick one or multiple, whatever you do. This is what the woman is going to have in her mind of the stereotypes. She gonna look at the Native American man. She gonna feel like nothing. She just gonna see. The thing is, what she gonna see with him is she just gonna see what's gonna equate in her mind is stereotypical movies. Like, she gonna see that Native American man and think of him as, you know, being just like one of them stereotypical redskin Indians. That's what that's the stereo. I'm just being honest. Don't take offense, because I'm talking about myself also. You know what I'm saying? I know we have them. I'm black, so chill out. Let me get it. So let me teach this. So that's what she's going to equate that with. That's what women, and Native American men know this. You know, and I'm not talking about a Native American woman. This is just a woman, like, just say an ambiguous race of woman. Just, she's ambiguous. We not even finna get into that, or her race. But this is what she's gonna feel. She gonna look at him, and she not gonna see. She not gonna just automatically be like, you know, oh, I'm just gonna look at him for him. It's when if he's Native American, she's gonna equate that with the stereotypes that she's been fed over her. And it's not, the propaganda for Native American men, Indian men, haven't been good, you know. And I'm gonna include and that goes for Indian men that are from India also. When these women see them, these women don't equate them with anything like of manhood, good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Now, that woman will look at the Asian man, and she'll assume that you know, she's gonna assume that he's like the most intelligent, probably. You know, that he's the most intelligent when it comes to things that he can get done with computers or something, or technology. That's how she's going to equate that there. She's gonna look at the white man and equate that with leadership, or, you know, like, she's gonna equate him with just leadership, you know, the perfect leadership off the top, because that's been the stereotype. You understand? She gonna equate the black man and look at him as being the most physically capable, physically in strength and sexuality, like, the most well endowed. She's going to look at, that's what happens when the stereotype with black men, when they look at them, it's automatically, this guy got, you know, got this, you know, he's physically stronger than them, you know, boom, bop. And then for the white guy, she's gonna look at that for leadership. She's gonna look at the Hispanic dude to be like, he can build something, you know what I mean? Yeah, he gonna know how to build this. And only into these men open up their mouths and move will they be able to establish their individuality? It's sad, but this is what the world is become. That's what America is. What you have to do. And once you do that, you can totally destroy the construct of the stereotype that has been made and created in the person's mind. That's what I'm getting at. That's what you can do. But you got to understand that these are the stereotypes that you're looking at. These are the things that people, and we can get into the negatives and the super negatives of them all, but we already know what they are. Like I said, black men get a lot of them. Not only do they get the quite a strip, but they also have the stereotypes of being, like I said, gangbangers, niggas, deadbeats, niggas running out on their kids, a lot of things, like I say. And other races got bad stereotypes, man. We can go on and on, like I say, but they ain't nothing but stereotypes at the end of the day. They're rooted in, some of them are rooted in truth, but people are individuals. And you can actually, and when you have wisdom and discernment, you know that people of all races and creeds can take on all of these traits. Like, we understand now that black men are actually pretty damn good at leadership. You understand? You see that you got more black quarterbacks than ever. You understand? If that was the case, then they wouldn't even be able to do that. But you have black men who've created a lot, who have whole companies. I mean, look at niggas like Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? You've had numerous you got black men leading whole companies of men in the army. You know what I'm saying? So that we already know that these things are true. We know not every Hispanic man is actually good at what he does. Like, not every Hispanic man is, good at building houses. Like, they'll tell you that. Like, come on now. Not every Hispanic man good at, handiwork and shit like that. They not all on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's a good skill to have, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But, black men have done that too. Everybody's done that. You got white men working construction. They do that. It's nothing. Not all Asians are, intelligent. Not all Asians have micro, you'll have, that's another thing. You'll have the women to look at the Asian men and just assume that they not well endowed. In the same way that they'll look at the black man and be like, yeah, I'm so he good in bed. They gonna look at the Asian man and assume that he's not. That's been, and that's a lot of women, that try to put that stereotype on the Asian man. But see, when they meet them, an Asian man who actually, take pride in himself and not on some cuckold stuff, and that nigga come through and lay it down on them, that totally blows the stereotype out of their mind. They can't use it anymore because you destroyed it. So ain't no point I don't live my life on stereotypes. Don't get me wrong, but you can go use them as a basis for some truth, because people equate, they saying this because they observe these things a lot, from their encounters, and that they just put a blanket statement on the group as a whole, because they've encountered this so many times in the small social experiment, which is their life. Because again, I'm telling you, like, for the same people who equate all Asians with being smart, I guarantee you they don't have a lot of Asian friends. Guarantee you they're not in a lot of circles with a lot of Asians. Just your everyday average Asian. It seems like the stereotypes a lot of times just be the exceptions. It's just, actually those are the loudest. Those are the loudest group of people within that group, because these are traits that they are exuding, like, at a high level. Like that's when you see the gang banger or something, this nigga, like, that's something your normal average person is not gonna do. They're not gonna be joining gangs, and that's not something human beings do. But you do have gangs in every group of people. It's not just in black people. So you get what I'm saying with that? Like the stereotypes, they're in every group, but they're made to be bigger within one due to the small social experiment that people who with small mindsets just put a blanket term on. They just put a blanket term on those people. Just because, like I said, they only have that small group to. It's like lazy intellectualism, man. It's like you're not even being intellectual. It's just lazy. It's the same way that you can, in a smaller microcosm, like in the black community, like if we would just say black, like if black men, just to put the whole blanket term on black, like all black women are promiscuous. Like all black women wear weave. You feel me? Now, don't get me wrong, a huge majority of them do. But the fact is not as white women wear weave, but not all black women are sitting around here with weave, just wearing weave and wigs all day. You see some of them when they swirling, them swirlers take that weave shit out quick. The motherfucker white man be like, man, get that shit out your head, man. You look like a damn nut. If I wanted a white woman, I get a white woman. And you see them all snatch that shit out their head quick. Be pulling that. You know what I'm saying? Every time you see these swirlers or something, or a white dude with a decent looking black woman, she ain't got no damn head full of weave. That nigga make her put her natural shit on. Or the stereotype to be like all black women are obese. Not all of them are obese. Like that's not the case. There is a great deal, or a big number of black women who are overweight and things like that. The same way that's the same with women in America, like other women. Other women in America, America is just an overweight country. So it's yes, black women is overweight, joined by the rest of them. You understand? So again, those stereotypes are rooted in some truth. At the end of the day, it's also rooted in lazy intellectual thinking. Now, one group may perpetuate one stereotype more than the other. Like let's be real. Like that may be the case, and certain things are just proven, statistically, or just proven cultural differences. I'll say, or they just I would say the probability of those things happening in one group is just higher. That's all, and those dynamics can change unless it's genetic, which is not many things. Like now the color of your skin or something like that. Like if you sleep with a dark man, you get with a dark skinned man, of course you're gonna have a darker skinned kid. Or you taller man, your genetics may be taller, his genetics will be that of his father. These things, yes, but as far as just the overall person and who they gonna be and how they operate with or what profession they gonna have, man, it's totally up to the Lord himself, and and how everything, just the nature of the world, how everything goes. But with that being said, hey, I hope y'all learned something from this. It's your man, Nico B. I'm gone.